Maa Kaali is one of the most significant, complex, and revered goddesses in Hinduism, particularly in the goddess centric tradition of Shaktism. She is a fierce manifestation of the Divine Mother and embodies a spectrum of divine qualities. Her name is derived from the Sanskrit word Kala, which means time, black, or death. She is considered the ultimate reality and the transcendent power of time. Kali represents the relentless power of time, which brings about both destruction and creation, death and rebirth. She destroys ignorance, ego, and the illusion of the material world to grant liberation. Although her appearance is often terrifying, she is seen by her devotees as a deeply loving and compassionate mother who fiercely protects her children from evil forces and guides them toward spiritual enlightenment. She is the consort and Shakti of Lord Shiva. She is often depicted standing on the prostrate body of Shiva, which symbolizes that she is the active energy that mobilizes the pure inert consciousness. A dark skin, or deep blue, symbolizes her being the ultimate reality, Brahman, in its unmanifest state. Beyond all form and color, she is the infinite void from which all creation emerges. 4 ounce represents the complete cycle of creation and dissolution. Our left hands often hold a sword representing divine knowledge and a severed head representing the human ego, which must be cut off or destroyed by knowledge to attain liberation. Our right hands are often raised in gestures of fearlessness, Abhaya Mutra, and bestowing blessings, Varada Mutra, assuring our devotees of protection and guidance. Garland of skulls represents the letters of the Sanskrit alphabet Varnamala, or the endless cycles of births and deaths she has conquered. It symbolizes the dissolution of the ego and the end of the attachment to the body. The protruding tongue is linked to a story where she steps on Shiva in a battle and, in a moment of realization and shame, sticks out a tongue. In other interpretations, it symbolizes her consumption of the demon's blood or her boundless hunger for truth. Maa Kaali is worshipped in many forms, with 3 of the most prominent being Mahakali, the Great Kali, the all-encompassing form representing the ultimate reality; Dakshina Kali, a benevolent and loving form widely worshipped by householders in regions like West Bengal; Samhara Kali, a ferocious form primarily associated with tantric practices symbolizing the power of destruction to clear the path for spiritual transformation. Maa Kaali's most recognized origin story is detailed in the ancient Sanskrit text, the Devi Mahatmyam, part of the Markandeya Purana. She is not born in the traditional sense, but emerges from another form of the Divine Mother as a manifestation of pure divine rage. The battle with Raktabija, the demon's bone. The story occurs during a great battle between the benevolent gods, that is, Devas, and the demonic forces, Asuras, led by the formidable demons Shubha and Nishamba. In this battle, a general named Raktabija, that is, blood seed, possessed an invincible bone. Every single drop of his blood that fell to the ground would instantly sprout a new, identical, and equally powerful Raktabija demon. The gods despair. The main army of goddess Durga, in the form of Ambika or Chandika, and her assistants, the Matrikas, fought fiercely. However, every time they wounded Raktabija, the battlefield became completely overrun with his countless clones. The gods realized the demon could not be defeated by conventional means, as their efforts only multiplied the enemy. The fierce manifestation, seeing the impending chaos, the Divine Mother was consumed by a righteous, purifying fury. From the deeply furrowed brow and forehead of the goddess, a magnificent and terrifying dark figure suddenly emerged. This was Kali, sometimes called Chamunda in this context for slaying the demons Chanda and Munda earlier. Kali was pitch black, emaciated, wearing a garland of skulls, and possessed an insatiable, ferocious hunger. Her role was simple: prevent the blood from touching the earth. As the other goddesses struck Raktabija, Kali used her enormous lolling tongue to lap up every single drop of blood the moment it left his body. She also consumed the clones that had already appeared. By systematically preventing his regeneration, she drained Raktabija of his fresh blood, and the original demon was finally defeated and destroyed. However, her triumph and blood intoxication were so immense that she lost control, starting a frantic, destructive dance that threatened to destroy the universe. To stop her destructive frenzy, her consort, Lord Shiva, lay down on the battlefield among the corpses. When Kali danced upon his chest, she immediately recognized her husband, was shocked at her action, and stuck out her tongue in shame, instantly calming her rage. This is why she is traditionally depicted standing on the prostrate body of Shiva. My own experience with Maa Kaali. When I was a child, I was honestly terrified of Maa Kaali. I still remember one particular day, no one was at home, and I was in my bedroom, absolutely scared to step out. I had this belief that Maa Kaali was standing in the living room. I was so afraid that I stayed inside for hours. Finally, I gathered all my courage, ran out of the house as fast as I could, and of course, she wasn't there. Now, when I think back, it brings a smile, but at that time, the fear felt very real. I have had other experiences with Ma Parvati as well, but for now, I want to talk only about Ma Kali's presence in my life. In future videos, I will share the rest. Most of my interactions with her happened through dreams, meditative states, and out of body experiences. The sky dream. In one dream, I was in my hometown, standing on our farmland, looking toward the south. The sky was full of clouds, lightning, and thunder. It looked like the entire sky was burning, and then suddenly, complete darkness. When the lightning struck again, she appeared. Maa Kaali was standing in the distance, exactly as she is depicted in pictures: fierce, powerful, intense. It was a terrifying experience. I was honestly afraid to even look at that scene. The meeting under the banyan tree. Another dream felt like I was watching a movie from a distance. Maa Kaali was extremely dark in complexion, with curly hair reaching her knees, wearing black clothes, exactly like in the paintings. She came with her Bhutaganas and held a meeting under a banyan tree. It was night, very dark, and it felt like a forest. The whole dream was almost black and white. Two people were hiding and watching her without knowing each other's presence. One was a pure devotee, a humble temple priest watching her with folded hands from behind a bush. The other was an evil tantric also hiding and watching. After the meeting, Maa Kaali started walking in the direction where the tantric was hiding. Realizing she would sense him, he tried to escape. On his way, he came across a small child, a boy around 3 or 4 years old. He could have simply walked away, but instead he killed that innocent child and ran. When Maa Kaali reached the spot, she saw the lifeless baby. She sat on the ground, lifted the child onto her lap, holding with both hands, and in that moment, I witnessed something unforgettable. A fiercely powerful goddess suddenly expressing the pure, aching love of a mother who just lost her child. Her scream of rage was intense. She immediately knew what had happened. Nothing can be hidden from her. And then she walked in the direction of the tantric, determined to find him and kill him. When she stopped me from chanting her mantra, even though I'm an ardent devotee of Lord Vishnu, Maa Kaali was the first to appear in my dreams, always protecting me and comforting me. So one day, I wanted to express my gratitude. I learnt a mantra for her. But even before I started chanting, I felt her in my mind. She told me not to proceed. She said, "You cannot offer the sacrifices required for this. If you don't give, I'll take from someone very close to you." I don't know the exact ritual requirements, but I immediately stopped. I didn't worship her in the usual way after that, but I always accepted her as my mother. When she lifted me like a child, one day while I was half asleep and half awake, I suddenly heard my father's voice in my mind asking, "Are you afraid of Maa Kaali?" I laughed and said, "Why should I be afraid of my mother?" And in that exact moment, I felt her. She held me with her two hands. The way a mother lifts a baby, I could feel her presence, her touch, even though my eyes were closed. And I broke down crying because at that time I was going through a very painful phase in my life. The people I trusted had stabbed me in the back. I was completely shattered, but she lifted that pain off me, exactly like a mother comforting her crying child. For me, Maa Kaali is not a goddess to fear. She is a mother who protects, guides, and stands by me in my darkest moments. From fear to faith, from darkness to strength. Maa Kaali transformed my life in ways I cannot explain. She is my mother, my protector, and my truth. I may not worship her in traditional ways, but her presence has held me, guided me, and healed me. For me, she is pure motherhood. These were my experiences with Maa Kaali, raw, real, and unforgettable. In future videos, I'll share more moments from my spiritual journey. Please like and subscribe for more such videos.